Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Digital Summit. My name is Greg Kettner, the founder of WorkHappy Nation. There's an exit door at the very back of the Grand Ballroom in the world-famous Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. And had I walked through that door, I would not be standing here today. It was our company's biggest event, the annual sales kickoff. Over 4,000 salespeople were in the ballroom waiting for the program to begin. I was sitting at the back with a group of people I had not yet met when 7 minutes into this 3-hour event, the master of ceremonies made a horrible gaffe. The mic was cut off. The lights came on, the band started to play, and the room went silent. Moments later, over the PA system, the voice said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are so sorry for what just happened. We want to let you know that we will be restarting the program in its entirety in 15 minutes. And by the way, if anyone knows where Greg Kettner is, we need to talk to him immediately." That's when I scanned the room and I saw the exit door to my left. And what seemed like a mile away was that massive stage that sat empty. A couple seconds later, my former friend Trevor came running over to my table and said, "Greg, this is it. They want you to go do stand-up comedy in Las Vegas and save the show." I was outed. I didn't know what to do. Everybody at my table started talking. And so Trevor dragged me up to the stage. All I remember was looking at the carpet and thinking to myself, what had I done last night? Why did they want to talk to me? Was I getting sent home early? Backstage, Annie came up to me and said, "Greg, you saw what happened." I said, "I know. I would hate to follow that act." She goes, "That's exactly what we need you to do. We heard you do stand-up comedy. We need you to go up and give us 15 minutes so we can restart the program." What Annie didn't know was that I'd only been doing stand-up comedy for about 6 months, and I only had 5 minutes of fart and poop jokes, which definitely wasn't the right kind of jokes for this atmosphere. I agreed. I said yes. I said, when else am I going to be able to get on stage in Las Vegas to do stand-up comedy in front of 4,000 people? I'm standing backstage on the stairs, hanging onto the railing for dear life. I'm sweating. I can't remember one joke. I can't even remember my name. And I'm staring at this massive royal blue curtain. Steve walked out and introduced me and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're so sorry for what just happened. But lucky for us, we're in Vegas. And one of our own is a very, 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 very funny stand-up comedian. Did me no favors." He said, "So without further ado, please welcome our very own Greg Kettner." I stumbled through that royal blue curtain into blinding lights, 4,000 people standing on their feet. I had no idea what I was going to say. I took a deep breath, calmed my nerves, found the middle of the stage, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Greg Kettner, and I can't do any worse than that guy." Standing ovation. I got through the next 15 minutes talking about Vegas and what had happened and what was going on. And then at the end, I had this thought. I was in sales, and now I had a captive audience of 4,000 people. That year, if you made your number, you got to go on President's Club, which was a $10,000 trip through Turkey, Italy, and Greece on a cruise ship. And I was nowhere near hitting the number that year. But I had a captive audience and I was helping out the company. So I mustered all the courage I had and said, "Hey, everyone, I'm sorry I didn't hit my number, but I'm kind of helping out the company right now. Is there any way that there's one more seat on that boat? What seemed like minutes, but only seconds later, an elderly gentleman from the front row stood up, walked to the stage, and said, "Kid, you're on the boat." I said, "Hey, everybody, I made it. I'm going to club." And then I leaned back down and into my mic, I said, "Sir, what's your name so I can properly thank you?" He said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'm the president of the company." As I walked off that stage, I scanned the back of the room looking for that exit door. And I thought to myself, learned two valuable lessons, all about mindset. Whenever you have the opportunity to say yes, and then figure life out. And the second lesson I learned, always bet on yourself, especially when you're in Las Vegas. Again, my name is Greg Kettner. I'm the founder of WorkHappy Nation. I'm a keynote speaker. I work with professional sports teams to help them work happy so they can reduce turnover, increase revenue, and find safe places to talk about mental health at work. I'm also a happiness coach. I work with people one-on-one to help them live their life and fulfillment and happiness. I'm also a podcaster. I am a recovering comedian, and my background includes over 27 years in sales with $12 million in products, goods, and services sold. I've worked for the Vancouver Canucks, the Vancouver Whitecaps, SAP, Coca-Cola, Ford, and the 2010 Winter Olympics. Today, I want to share three quick things: mindset, motivation, and mental health. Mindset. It's very important, and we're the only ones that control our minds. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. And there's a lot of challenges, especially coming through COVID for the last 18 months. There's stress and anxiety. I've always been an outgoing, upbeat kind of person, but I felt the stress. Here I am in the spare bedroom still working. There's anxiety. What is tomorrow going to bring? When's my next paycheck coming? I remember when I lost my job due to COVID back last March. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was stressed. I had anxiety about upcoming bills, but I pivoted, and now I share with other people how they can work happy, how we all need to work happy. Loneliness is another mindset challenge. We're social creatures. Being by ourselves, being stuck indoors has been stressful on all of us. Productivity is also a mindset challenge. When we're working from home, it's different. There's distractions. You can take the dog for a walk. You can change the laundry. You can get a snack. You don't even have to wear pants to go to work anymore. Productivity can be a mindset challenge. And fourthly, there's no water cooler. Sure, we're on Zoom and we're talking to people, but having that human connection, talking about the weekend at the water cooler, sharing your plans, having quick strategy meetings in the hallway, those have all been gone. And it remains to be seen how many people are going to go back to see if we are going to have water coolers. But there are things that we can do to have a virtual water cooler. Here's some of the numbers. 1 million plus. Those are employees who miss work each day in the US due to stress. 1 million, over 1 million people. That's a lot of productivity gone. That's a lot of creativity gone. And that's a lot of revenue that is missing. One of the things we can do to overcome our mindset challenges is laughter. Laughter works. Who here doesn't like to laugh? Almost had you there. But here's how laughter works. The more we laugh, the better we feel. The better we feel, the more money we make. The more money we make, the more vacation we have. The more vacation we have, the more money we make, the nicer house we have on the lake, and we can work on our own schedule. So when we laugh, dopamine is released in our brains. It's a happy drug, and that reduces our stress. Laughter also burns calories. I don't know about you, but I need to lose weight. I used to weigh 8 pounds, 6 ounces. So every time I laugh, calories are burned. They did some research with 2 groups regarding productivity. And what they did, they had 2 groups of 20 people, put them in a room each, and they each worked on a puzzle together as a team for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, the one group started watching a regular documentary. The second group started watching a show, Robin Williams Live. So the documentary and Robin Williams Live for 20 minutes each. The folks came back into the room, worked on the puzzle for another 20 minutes, and they found that the people who laughed at Robin Williams' show were 20% more productive. And there's Friday Funnies. I started doing this a long time ago. Feel free to do it yourself, or you can send me an email. You can just go onto my website at gregkettner.com. But every Friday, I send out an HR approved, Michael Scott endorsed cartoon, video, or joke of the week that you can share with your colleagues, with your friends, so that everybody has a good laugh every Friday. And again, it's HR approved. So you can sign up on the website, or feel free to take like a Far Side cartoon and share it with your friends, because when you do that, the laughter multiplies. If I think it's funny, I send it over to Paul. Paul thinks it's funny. He laughs. He sends it over to 2 or 3 people. It goes and goes and goes. And that reduces our stress. Here are some solutions for the mindset challenges that we have, especially working from home. We need to be more engaged with our colleagues, with our family. Our family, specifically during COVID, has really embraced dinner time. So my daughter is now working at the pool as a lifeguard. My wife is upstairs working for the bank. I'm downstairs working with my clients. So we're all kind of all, even though we're in the same house or close proximity, but every night we sit down with no phones, no electronics, and we have dinner and we have conversations. We laugh, we talk about our days, and we also have a deck of gratitude cards that we pull out and say one thing that we're grateful. Another key important thing while we're working is to take frequent breaks. Our minds and our eyes can only take so much stress of looking into a computer screen. We don't see it, but the computer screen is blinking so fast, and that really stresses our eyes out. So my suggestion would be to work for 40 minutes, set your timer on your phone for 40 minutes, and then take a 10-minute break. And that's the time that you can take the dog for a walk around the block, or change the sprinkler on your lawn, or change the laundry, or make a phone call to a friend. And research shows that when we take regular breaks throughout the day, we are more productive overall. And again, laughter, I can't say this enough. Laughter is the best medicine. Unless you have diarrhea, then I would consult your doctor. And here's the last solution for the mindset challenges that we have, are gratitude texts. I started doing this 2 or 3 months ago. I was reading a blog and they were talking about how we should every day be grateful for something, and sit down, get your piece of paper or your journal and write 3 things that you're very grateful, which I started doing and it worked. But I found after a couple of weeks that I was repeating the same things. I was having trouble coming up with specific things to be grateful for other than my family and my job and the weather, golf, those sorts of things. So I had this crazy idea and I want to share it with you because it works. And I tell my clients, both corporate and private one-on-one coaching, gratitude texts. And what I did was, my older brother, when I was in college, I took a year out and I taught English as a second language. I was on an island, a very remote island in the South Pacific. And my brother loved to read. He was a total bookworm, and I wasn't. I read magazines. If there was pictures, I was all over it. So I sent a letter. I'm not sure if you guys remember what a letter is, but a handwritten letter. I sent it to him. It took about 2 weeks to get back to Canada. And I said, hey, Todd, I know I'm not a very big reader, but if you have any extra books, I would love to read them. I'm so bored out here. Well, 3 weeks later, I got a box full of Tom Clancy and John Grisham novels. And I dove into them, and I absolutely love to read. I read every day, read 2 or 3 books a month, and I absolutely love it. So I had this thought, and I sent him a text. I said, hey, bro, hope your week is going well. I just wanted to thank you so much for 20, 30 years ago when you sent me that box of books. You are the one that got me into reading. And because of everything that I've read, I am now doing what I love to do. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you being my older brother. And that was it. Well, 20 minutes later, I got a text back from him that said, thank you so much. That absolutely made my day. It made my week. I had no idea. And the fact that you sent a gratitude text and thanked me for it was absolutely awesome. I'm going to do that and pay it forward. And everybody I've talked to, once they've tried it, they will not stop. So I challenge you to send out a gratitude, even if it's just one a day. Someone in your phone that you may have not talked to lately. It could even be your family, but just send them a quick gratitude text, thanking them for something in your life. We all need to laugh more. And here's a great story that I'll share with you, and you can share with your team in your workplace. There's this old couple. They'd been married for 60 years, had a wonderful marriage. They had kids and grandkids, but they were getting up in their years. And when they got married, the wife said to the husband, she had the shoebox and she put it up in the closet in the bedroom. And she told her husband, whatever you do, never, ever, ever, ever look inside that shoebox. And so the husband said, okay, he was a smart man and he never did look inside the shoebox. Well, as time went on, the wife got sick and she was on her deathbed. And so the husband was lovingly taking care of her and feeding her and getting all her affairs in orders. It came down to a couple of things, and one was the shoebox. So the husband said to the wife, he said, I know you're going to pass on. I love you so much. We've had such a wonderful life together. But tell me, what should I do with the shoebox? And she goes, well, bring it here and I'll tell you the story of the shoebox. So we got the shoebox and he came and sat down beside her. And she said, all right, here's the deal. Before I got married, my mother told me to never go to bed mad at you. And if I was mad or upset about something, all I would need to do is stay up late, crochet a doll, and everything would work out well. And the husband was just overcome. He's like, I had no idea. Wow. Okay. So he opened up the shoebox. And inside the shoebox, he found 3 crocheted dolls and $60,000 in cash. He had no idea what this meant. But he looked at the 3 crocheted dolls and he said, honey, I love you so much. 60 years, only 3 crocheted dolls. What a wonderful wife you are. He said, well, what's with the $60,000? And she looked at him, gave him a smile, and she said, oh, honey, that's all the money I made from selling the dolls. Motivation challenges. Again, productivity can be really tough. It might be nice out. You might want to go golfing. Your friend might call you and say, hey, let's go to the lake. Let's go ski in the afternoon. Being unproductive has been a challenge for all of us, whether you're a manager, an employee, or an owner of a small company. There's also a lack of company loyalty. A lot of people during these times have been using their time to find different jobs or come up with their own small business idea to go forward, right? Because a lot of us have lost our employment. Also, what is next? A lot of people have been asking me, well, how do I know what's next? Where are we going? I have no idea. That sort of thing. And also another motivational challenge is working from home versus the office. And that can be a really big stressor on the family as well as the corporation. So here, again, here are some numbers. Over $300 billion is lost due to sick leave, long-term disability, and employee turnover. 300 billion. If we work happy, people are more motivated. If we work happy, people are more productive. If we work happy, people don't leave their jobs. Home office, this is mine. You can see I've got a bunch of books that I've read. I told you earlier, this is my Wayne Gretzky game worn jersey. Wayne Gretzky was the best hockey player ever in the world. It's personally autographed, and my brother bought this for me for college graduation. So set up your office if you can, and not everybody has this, but if you have a dedicated room, if you have a spare bedroom, I have friends that have set up their office in their walk-in closet, but try and treat it like an office at work, or even better, a cubicle if you can. So if you can find a dedicated room. So this room is downstairs. It's like a den slash office space. So I have made it my own. I've got my goals on the wall. I have my favorite band, the Tragically Hip, over here. I've got a set list from the Tragically Hip, and I also have a poster signed by Norm Macdonald from Saturday Night Live. So that's me. I love the Hip. I love hockey. I love Norm. I should probably keep my clubs in here as well too. But show your personality, because that does two things. It makes you feel at home. It gives you motivation. It makes you more productive. But also, when we're on Zoom here, it makes you more interesting than people listening to you as they're staring at a blank white wall with a glowing light right over their head. So show your personality, use a dedicated room, post your office hours. Now, this kind of seems, sounded funny to me when I first heard this, but I've done that. So my family knows that between 8 and 5 o'clock, those are my office hours. And if I'm recording like I am right now, I put a sign on the door. It says recording. That way, if Rachel comes home or Becky needs something, they can quickly look at the door, know that I'm recording, and wait until after. Another great idea is get off of Zoom. We're on here way too much, people. It's good, but if you can pick up the phone and have a conversation, it's actually refreshing. Remember the days when you had to go to the wall and you would dial the rotary phone? If you're under 25, you're probably not sure what I'm talking about. But pick up the phone and have conversations with your family, with your clients, with your colleagues. It helps. And again, the screen blinking, it really stresses our eyes and our brains. So if you can keep your Zoom meetings to 30 minutes, sometimes you can't, I know, but if you can keep them small and keep them to 30 minutes, it's much better for all of us. Here's a big one that I really learned that has helped me to overcome the challenges with motivation. Number one, plan tomorrow tonight. So in my calendar, every day at 4:30 for a half hour, I look over my calendar for tomorrow to see what I have to do. I did this last night, and I found out that I need to take my wife into work at 9:30. At 10:30, I'm recording a podcast, and at 2:30, I have a coaching client. So last night for a half hour, I made sure I double checked with my wife about what time she needed to go to work. I did some research on my podcast guest, so I would be ready in the morning and I didn't have to worry about it overnight. And then thirdly, for my coaching client, I reviewed our notes from our last session and just kind of got in the right frame of mind for the coaching session this afternoon. So again, if you can take 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the end of your day to plan tomorrow tonight, you're going to sleep a lot better and the day will go much, much better. Number two, eat the frog. This is a Brian Tracy term that he coined, and nobody here, well, unless you're French, probably eats a frog that often. But what he meant by it is every day when you go through your task list, do the hardest thing first. And for me, that is paperwork. I'm not a big paperwork guy. I'm not a detailed guy. But when I do that first, I get it out of the way. It releases my brain so that I can focus on the stuff that I do like doing, being creative, talking to people, and working on my podcast. Also, we need to be more selfish. We need more me time. And if you're a manager or an owner, you need this as well too. But we are humans, and if we're not getting our exercise, we're not getting outside, and if we're standing in front of our computers for 10 hours a day, we are not being productive. We are not giving our best selves to our company, to our family, and to our friends. So take time, whether that's going for a walk, or if you're having a really crappy day, maybe it's going wine tasting, or maybe shutting down at 3 o'clock, taking a nice hot bath, read a book, whatever it is. But when we have more me time, when we're selfish about taking care of ourselves first, then we have more capacity to help others. And when we plan, it removes that anxiety. I know I get a lot better sleep when I plan tomorrow tonight. And when I get up and do my morning routine, I get up and I exercise for a half hour, 45 minutes, and then I meditate for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I read for a half hour. So that's my morning routine. And when I do that, it takes away that anxiety for me of the day. And I can tell you what days I have done my morning routine and what days I haven't by the outcome of the day. Here's some solutions. Self-discovery. Go out and find something that you love to do. Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's being a birder. I'm not sure. But take time to do some self-discovery. It'll blow you away. I had no idea how much I liked the golf. I really got into it this last year, and I'm almost as good as Paul Casey is. So that's a good thing. Reset or review your goals. They need to be SMART goals, which are specific and timely and measurable. But reset your goals. When was the last time that you looked at your goals? Do you have goals for this month? Do you have goals for this quarter? Do you have goals for this year? And the older I get and the more I do this, the fewer the goals I have to work out on time, the easier it is to achieve them. So I have 3 goals for this month. I have 3 for the quarter, and I have 3 long-term goals for the year. Another great solution is to connect with your colleague. You may not even have any business, or you may not have to work on a project with them, but give them a call. How are you doing? Send them a gift card to Starbucks in the mail. Who doesn't like a handwritten message? So connect with your colleagues and set up a home office. If you haven't done that yet, please do. Take some time. It's very distracting and it's very unproductive if you're going to the dinner table and setting up your laptop and working for a couple hours, and the kids come home and they have to work on their homework, and it's very, very chaotic. So if you can find a dedicated space in your home, whether next to your room or a closet, some people are even working in their garage. But when we have a home office set up, we're so much more productive and less stressed. Here is a slide of every virtual meeting that you and I have been on, except for ours. But the pumpkin on the left obviously is on a Teams call without video. And the pumpkin on the right obviously has their video on and is all dolled up as much as a pumpkin can get dolled up. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. Robin Williams. Now, I talk a lot about mental health with my clients. It's affected our family. My stepdaughter lost her dad to suicide 3 years ago. And so I've really invested in the mental health field. I'm not an expert, but I know how to talk to people. I know how to create safe spaces so that we can share what is going on with our lives. We have a group here in Walla Walla called Men in the Middle. And if any of you are interested, I would love to talk to you further about it. But basically, it's a group of 20 or 30 guys. We go out to the pub together. We'll go hit golf balls together, help an old lady paint her house, those sorts of things. Because when guys are next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, we can relate, we can build relationships so that when stressors do come, maybe it's a loss of a job or a relationship or money, money crisis, we can reach out to that person and talk to them and help them out and direct them in the right place to go get counseling or to talk about their feelings, so it's not all bottled up like it has been during COVID. I got to meet Robin Williams several years ago in Vancouver. I was doing an open mic, so there's about 7 people in the bar, and I was up there. I had 5 minutes, and halfway through my 5-minute set, the door opened up and in walked Robin Williams. And in my head, I thought 2 things. Oh my God, that's my hero, Robin Williams, watching me do stand-up comedy. And my second thought was, after this set, I'm going to make him laugh. And I'm going to do that by ignoring him and not pretending that I have no idea who he is. So I finished my set. He clapped, which was very kind of him. I went and sat down in the bar and ordered a beer next to him. And after a while, I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? He just kind of looked at me like I should probably know who this guy is. I said, what are you doing in town? He said, oh, we're filming a movie. I was like, oh, cool, right? Still pretending I had no idea who he was. Like, that's awesome. Are you the camera guy, right? You're the microphone guy, catering? What's going on? He's like, no, I'm actually an actor. I've been in Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire, Aladdin. Nope, haven't seen Aladdin. I couldn't take anything long. I said, you know what, Robin, I'm a huge fan of yours. You've been my comedy hero. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wanted to make you laugh. And he said, you know what? Thank you for making me feel human. It's rare that somebody doesn't want to talk to me, to get an autograph, to get a photo. So thank you. So we sat down and had a conversation for 10 or 15 minutes. And then the person running the show came up and said, hey, we would love it if you wanted to go up and do some time. And Rob's like, yeah, I could do that. So again, there were 7 people in the bar. Now there was 8 with Robin. Robin went up, did 2.5-hour set, blew us away. By the end of it, the bar is packed. There's 200 or 300 people in the bar. The bouncers are charging $20 to get in. And it was the best night of comedy I have ever seen. After the show, he came up to me and said, hey, Greg, thanks again for blowing me off. I really appreciate it. I'll see you around. Nice to meet you. And then he said something that I will never, ever forget. He said, Greg, keep doing what you're doing. You're funny. You can make people laugh. He said, because you'll never know the lives you will change by making someone laugh. He walked out. 2 nights later, I was with my buddy Ian, and we were going to another open mic comedy show. And just before we got to the comedy club, Ian starts elbowing me. He's like, Greg, Robin Williams. And I looked up and I'm like, hey, Robin. And Robin's like, hey, Greg, how's it going? Ian totally freaked out. So we all had a good laugh. We're standing there. And then I said, hey, we're going to do a show. You want to come with us? And Robin's like, absolutely. He goes, but here's the deal. I'm going to introduce you guys. We'll walk in. I'll tell everybody like, hey, everybody, here's my buddy Greg and my other friend Ian. And he did that. That's how gracious. One of the most amazing people to make anybody laugh in the world wanted to make us look like the heroes. And it was great because Ian and I were just rookies at the time. We hadn't been doing it for very long. We walked in the green room and here's Robin Williams. Everybody like, oh my God, it's Robin Williams. And Robin was like, hey, everybody, this is my friend Greg Kettner. This is my other friend Ian Emery. How's it going? And again, another glorious night. But I will never forget what he said. Make people laugh because you'll never know the lives you will change. Mental health challenges have skyrocketed during COVID. There have been increases in suicide rates, increase in relapses for both drug and alcohol, acute loneliness, and the feeling of being overwhelmed. And when are we going to get back to normal? What is the new normal? So here are some serious challenges that we all need to think about, we need to talk about, and we need to reach out when we are having thoughts of self-harm, when we are having thoughts of relapsing into drugs or alcohol, when we're extremely lonely, reach out. You can call someone, you can call a friend, you can call me, send an email, whatever it is. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to say that. We're human. We're all in this thing called life together. But when you're overwhelmed, reach out. And back to normal. We're not sure when that's going to be or what that's going to look like. But just knowing that people are here to support you, people are here to help you, and people are here to have empathy with you as you go through, as we go through these mental health challenges of our time. Back to the numbers. Here are, I can't read it. There we go. Losses, 500 billion in losses due to disengaged workers from anxiety, brain fog, exhaustion, and burnout. 500 billion. If we can work with each other, if we can work happy, productivity goes up, employee turnover goes down, mental health is better, people are not taking sick days, people are feeling alive, and they're not burned out. $500 billion. So again, timeouts. Take a timeout when you're feeling mentally stressed. Breaks give us space that we need to think. I have an app on my phone that I use daily. It's called Headspace. And in the morning, there's a breathing exercise along with some meditation. And then at noon, there's a quick 5-10 minute meditation. And then at night, it's kind of like story hours when we were kids. And they tell a really great story and you fall asleep to that. But when we take time out to refocus, to give our brains, to reset our brains, it's really, really helpful and really, really beneficial. It refocuses our brains. So if you're totally stressed out, if you have a big project, if you can take a half hour out, go for a walk, do some deep breathing, do a meditation, that helps. And what doesn't help is if you just try and plow through it. I got to stay up till 4 a.m. to get this project done. That doesn't do anybody any good. The project might be done, but you won't be in the right frame of mind to present it. Or when you hit send, there still might be mistakes. When we give ourselves times out and we give ourselves the opportunity to not work for 8 hours straight, we are more productive. Research shows that again and again and again. And when we have times out, it recharges our body. I know there's days when I've taken off, I've gone for a walk, I've gone golfing, just because there's so much pressure, there's so much to do, there's so much stress. But when I get out and I'm on the course, I'm walking for an hour, I feel good about myself. I might not shoot well, but when I'm done, I feel much, much better. So it's okay to take timeouts, whether you're an employee or an owner or a manager. We all need this for our best mental health. And again, solutions, be more selfish. I know I'm repeating myself, but it needs to be said. Before we can help others, we need to help ourselves. Come up with some daily habits that work well for you. For me, I now get up at 5 a.m. And again, I exercise and then I meditate and I read. For me, that gets me in the right frame of mind. The meditation calms us, it resets our mind, and the exercise resets our body. It's meditation for the body. And you don't have to be a marathon runner or an Olympic athlete or a professional tennis player, but just getting out and exercising really helps the body to heal, to breathe, and to be rejuvenated so that we can be more productive and work happy. Thirdly, or fourthly, reach out to others. This is so important. You can pick up your phone, right? How many people are in your phone that you can talk to? Send an email. Talk to your family. Talk to your kids. Ask your kids how their day is going. Ask them their funniest video on TikTok that they saw today. It'll be annoying because they'll show you 25, but that's relating to your kids. That's reaching out to your kids because they are going through the same thing that we are. People have shorter attention spans. People are being more bullied. But when we reach out to each other, we find that we're all going through the same things together. And by reaching out and connecting, we can work happy, we can be happy, and thus relieve our stress. Again, laughter, it's laughter, brain focus. Not sure what that means, but I was probably up till 4 a.m. coming up with this slide. But here's things that meatloaf would do for love. Big old circle, pie chart. Red is anything and green is that. If you're under 35, this is not funny at all. All right, that is my time. Thank you so much. In the chat box, if you will, what was your number one takeaway? Was it taking time outs? Was it being selfish? Was it gratitude texts? Was it setting up your home office? Was it meditation? What was your number one takeaway from today? And just put that in the chat box, if you will. Also, it's now time for questions and answers. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or you can always email me. If any of this resonates with you, or you're like, I had a question on meditation, feel free to reach out to me. My email is greg@gregkettner.com. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation, jump on a phone call, or if you need to, we can even do a quick Zoom, but not more than 30 minutes, right? So if you have any questions or answers, I'm an open book. I'm just like everybody else. I'm on this journey and we're working towards working happy. And if I can help in any way, please let me know. And here's my information again. It's greg@gregkettner.com. My phone number is 509-730-3888. I want to thank you for your participation today. Thank you for trying to work happy more often. Thank you for starting to do gratitude texts. Thank you for setting up your home office. And thank you mostly for being you. If anyone on this webinar is struggling, please reach out to a friend or seek professional help. Or again, my contact information is here. I'm more than happy to have a phone call or share an email with you. So thank you again. Go out there, laugh every day, work happy, and the world will be a better place.